Hello and welcome to Fellowship of Geeks. I'm Jim.
I'm Diane.
And today we're going to bring you our 2025 recap, best of awesome, fun, cool things we did, saw, bought, acquired, etc.
Number one should be this podcast.
Number one should be this. Well, I thought about adding that to our list, like your favorite podcast or your favorite stream. And I'm like, well, obviously it's this one, but like,
obviously
we don't always watch all of our favorite ones. So maybe like if there was another one we really enjoyed.
That's possible.
So what was your favorite stream or podcast you listened to or watched this year?
So I listened to a lot of Law Nerd this year.
Law Nerd.
I covered several very popular cases. Very few of them. Emily D. Baker does like live cast when we're in court, and she'll cover a full 9 hours in court, but also does smaller like recap and just like case briefs. I did not do a lot of all day law streaming, but I probably did more than I thought I did.
When you weren't like studying the Diamond bankruptcy?
Right.
Spoiler alert, folks. The beautiful and gracious Diane is formerly an attorney.
So yeah, that was the
not just law
geekdom I went down.
So my favorite one, really enjoyed Dungeon Craft with Professor DM. Got to see his talk at Gen Con about how to have a kick-ass podcast with Baron DeRopp and a few other famous folks. But I really enjoy his streams and the different PC covers, talking about the industry and different things. So that was probably my favorite one.
I like how he does this. It's very different than us. He's very straightforward.
Very, very much, and he has awesome production values and has been doing it for a really long time. So I certainly like to try to learn what I can from him, but I also enjoy his like industry takes. And
I think I heard a take that was like, how do you make a great podcast in 2025? You start with a blog in 2015. It's like, okay then.
Like,
how do you do things backwards?
How do you make $1 million in the role-playing game industry?
You start with
$2 million. Exactly. Okay, so that was our favorite stream podcast. Going from there, what was your favorite board game that we added to our collection this year?
Ooh, a board game that we added to our collection. We did pick up quite a few board games this year. I actually really enjoyed, we played the Stranger Things board game. I really enjoyed that. It was a fun play and a fun game. So
I was telling another friend when about that last night when we got together and played my favorite game of the year, which I'll talk about in a second. But it was the Stranger Things game was very lethal, and if you are not all on the same page and not playing cooperatively, you will lose. And even if you are, you're probably going to lose because it's really challenging, and it reminds me a lot of Fireteam Zero.
Yes.
A game we kickstarted years ago.
Which probably
was kind of a horror game as well.
With gameplay, because we were familiar with something else that played similarly.
Right. It was very, very lethal though. And even when we were playing together and trying to be cooperative, like, oh, we're going to have our own agendas. Yeah, that doesn't work. I didn't end
mad that we'd all died.
No, it was, so it was a fun game, but it was quite lethal. It was
pretty lethal. Yes.
It's quite lethal.
So what was your favorite board game?
So my favorite one was Battle of Hoth. And if you haven't, you should check out our video on that one. We did a little unboxing back after we acquired that at Gen Con. But the little guy and I played it and figured it out. And then a friend of mine came over and we played that and played a couple of the scenarios and looked into the flip side of the board. Somebody commented on the video we did. And all the scenarios play on the front side, but there's an epic scenario that if you have 2 copies of the game, you put the game boards together and can play an epic everybody in the pool. You need lots of extra game pieces, which is the other reason you need 2 games. And so I told him, he's like, well, maybe I'll get a copy. I'm like, well, I was like, it's on my tickler list to acquire a second one because I'd like to, paint it and play with it. But yeah, Battle of Hoth was my favorite board game that we got and we've played in 2025.
And it was one I've seen, like as you've said, I've seen that come out a couple times. So that is
and
definitely
there have been a ton of people
game.
that played it. And again, based on Memoir 44, so it had kind of an established rule set and was very popular and well accepted. So Star Wars is still, even with the craziness of Disney, is still a popular
Star Wars
property.
Is still king.
And Empire Strikes Back and Hoth is great. So I'm hoping they're going to come out with more because I was talking to my friend about it and he's like, I was like, you could do the Battle of Endor. You got ATSTs and rebel troops and stormtroopers and Ewoks and speeder bikes and things flying around.
There you go.
And then the other one we talked that would be a lot of fun that we would like to see is the Battle of Scarif.
Oh.
And you get some U-wings and X-wings flying around, TIE bombers and interceptors, and there's big giant AT-ATs. And
I'm having horrible flashbacks to trying to finish the Lego game.
Oh,
so
gosh.
our little guy could play just open
world, yeah.
And all those flying levels. Flying levels were the
flying
worst.
ones through all the spaceships. I remember that one was really challenging and made my eye twitch more than a little playing it.
All he wanted to do once it was open was go to Endor, play Chewbacca, rip people's arms off, and beat them with them. That's pretty much all he did.
I mean, he was 7 or something, so that tracks.
It tracks.
That absolutely tracks.
We played, 900 levels to get him to do that. So
all right, cool. So moving along, let's mix it up a little bit. What was your favorite tech accessory or gaming accessory that we added to our repertoire this year?
So this year, second half of the year especially, we spent some time needing to paint some things.
We did do a bit of painting, getting ready for Thanksgiving gaming.
Need is probably the wrong term. We got the privilege of painting several things. And we had purchased a couple of items to help with that. But I really, really came to appreciate and enjoy the Army Painter speed paint pens.
Yes.
Those worked so well.
I was pleasantly surprised the little bit I got to do and use with those and painting some of them, how well those worked. And like the bigger set had replaceable tips and
they
how
solved
the cap
some
worked.
Other problems, right? They solved how the cap works. So how you I have other paint pens,
right,
and that style, and once you've gotten paint or ink into it, and time goes by, that can sometimes be an issue. And these replenished so well and didn't mash
the tip, which was what I was concerned about. Yeah, the way the lid fit together,
right.
And they went in to draw the paint into the tip was ingenious.
Brilliant. The way it then reseals so it doesn't dry out, because that was my other concern. I stopped the little guy. I was like, don't open another color because we're not going to use that color again for a while. But it worked so well to stay moist enough to keep using as a pen over time. And really the ability to get in and hit some detail highlight points was so much better than trying to use a brush.
Right. And it's like if you just had a little quick touch up or you wanted to, and you could do all of it with it. And they've come out with a whole slew of colors now. So that's a really nice piece as well. But then we got the big set, and then we got a couple packs of the starter set with the 3 colors. So those are good, and I really like the speed paints as well. And they're a little different than a traditional pigment paint. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but I really enjoyed. I did a lot of painting prepping for Origins, and you guys were busy doing scouting stuff. So I spent a lot of time learning and using those in different things before the paint markers came out. And then I saw those and I'm like, oh, these are genius.
And I think we've talked before, the speed paints versus a traditional paint. If you're doing minis, a traditional paint works because you're only doing such a finite amount. We paint some really large terrains.
Or
and being
lots
able
of
to
terrain.
And lots of terrain. And being able to just swath it all with a speed paint is so convenient.
Yes. Yeah, we burnt through some of that red on the brick that we painted. So we painted a lot of brick.
Yes, we did.
I need to go get another bottle of that.
All right. So what was your favorite tech or accessory?
So I couldn't really decide because I got so many cool things this year. My favorite one is hard to say. So one of my 2 favorites, and this is more of a tech accessory, is my Keychron Q13 Max mechanical keyboard.
It kind of would have to be, I think.
Oh, I mean, it's just I love it. And you and the little guy were kind enough to get me an additional Keychron for Christmas with a Hall effect. And I was talking to a friend of mine who suffers from Parkinson's, and he's a big video gamer. And he was talking about using the keyboard, and he was struggling with one of the keys because his one finger would tend to droop, and so he's always turning right, always turning right, always turning right. And I said, have you heard of Hall effect keyboards? And he's like, what? I'm like, you program your resistance essentially magnetically. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's a game changer.
This sounds brilliant. If you just make that one key then a hard press.
Is a little harder press. So when your finger's just sitting on it, it's not pushing you off, and you have to be a little more intentional about it. So, and I know a lot of gamers use it, and that's not probably the intended purpose. but was a really cool adaptation for him, because there were some games he's like, I can't play this game as much anymore because I'm always drifting off in that direction and I can't help it. So he was going to check those out. So that was cool. Now the Q13 is not that standard mechanical, but the other one, you guys got me since I'm a Keychron addict now.
You do seem to have become. We've
like
created a monster.
That's right. And then my other favorite tech, and it's more of a gaming accessory, is I got a new 3D printer on Black Friday sale from Bamboo Labs. I already had an A1 and really liked it as much as my old love affair with my Creality printers was. Fell in love with the A1. And when the P2S came out, the P1S prices were really low, and I wanted to try multicolor printing, and so got that as my pre-Christmas gift, and printed a bunch of stuff. And I'm learning that, and I printed one of your favorite things I ever printed.
It was really
3D was a little clip out Christmas like gingerbread house,
and they used the different color printing.
And it used the 4 different colors and
really
printed all in one place. And
it was really fun.
Some of your nieces really enjoyed those at Christmas, so that kind of made their Christmas. So that was a cool thing. But I'm blown away by how cool and how poorly I do the painting with it, but coming along and still learning on that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the P1S.
I was gonna say, if you're super attuned listener, you may be able to hear it in the background.
It's over there working,
but hopefully it's very quiet.
Hopefully it's very quiet. I'm like, it's not too distracting, but yeah, it's always going here in the studio.
That was a good pick for you, though.
That was definitely a good pick to add to my little farm of 3D printers.
There's a little farm going, isn't there?
A little bit.
Okay.
Been accused of being Farmer Jim, the 3D printer.
We'll get you a pair of 3D printed overalls.
I need my 3D printed overalls, my little straw hat, and 3D print myself a piece of straw, and I'll be all set. I'm a lumberjack, I'm a farmer.
So in a much more casual experience, what was your favorite TV show of the year?
That's really hard because watched so many old ones. Really, a couple that as I was thinking through it that I enjoyed. The new King of the Hill season was good. I enjoyed the latest season of Wednesday. And we've just kind of started with Fallout season 2, so really couldn't count that in yet, but I'm really enjoying that. But my favorite just came to its climactic series ending finale with Stranger Things season 5 was probably my favorite. A couple of the episodes in between the beginning and the end meandered a little bit, but as far as the way they wrapped it up and everything, I was talking to another friend, is how many series do you enjoy where the series finale is hot garbage? And we've been bit by that so many times where loved it, and I was like, there are not a lot that I'm like, man, I love that show, but the ending was awful. And Stranger Things really, without any spoilers, because I know everybody's still catching it or binging it through it together. Hopefully everybody got to see it over the holidays, but don't want to share any spoilers. But the way they wrapped everything up, all the big storylines and most of the secondary storylines were wrapped up and a bow was put on it. And then there were some of the tertiary ones. I'm like, I would have liked a little more epilogue, but again, they were such tertiary characters. Again, we're in more for a season of brilliance, or added little bits, but we're not big ones. But and the only if I had one little criticism, I was like, Linda Hamilton was wasted. Because she was there a lot and running around and really didn't change the story at all.
Right.
Didn't do anything but drive. Yeah, the military and the government and everybody's still going to want all this forever. Did we need her to add her name to the pursuits? It was a shame she was wasted. But other than that, everything wrapped up and was done really well, and really enjoyed Stranger Things season 5.
I think in some ways the formatting lends itself to a better finale. Like, I started to say this and I thought, well, they had 2 hours to give you a finale, as opposed to a lot of TV series that have 22 to 45 minutes to do it. But in reality, they're, I don't know, 8 episodes took up the same amount of time of the 26 episode seasons we're very used to. So they had this yes and no. right? I think there is a segment of the finale that in an hour TV show we probably wouldn't have gotten.
I don't
Right,
think they would
because
have
it's too-
taken the time for that epilogue piece
Yes.
again without giving anything away.
Right. So their format did lend itself to a better resolution.
Mhm.
I was just trying to think. There's some TV show we've talked about before that just absolutely nailed its ending.
Third Rock from the Sun is the one that springs to mind for me. That one was so perfectly ended.
Mhm.
And then one we really enjoyed, King of the Hill, it just stopped. And again, that was a product of cancellation more than anything. And they came back and it was like, oh, nothing ever really stopped, but all this time passed. So it was
Like,
that
I
was
know
an
you didn't
interesting
watch-
juxtaposition.
You don't watch Seinfeld, but Seinfeld had an ending that just didn't make any sense. Like, it ended, but it didn't. You're like, okay, you've clearly made an ending, but this is it. Was also very odd and very strange. But yeah, Stranger Things was good. So you took several of mine.
I tagged him. I didn't steal it.
did?
I
Okay.
didn't try to steal it. So what was your favorite?
So I forget how long the year is.
It was a long year.
It was a
2025
long
was a very
year.
long year.
So I forgot things like
So
I had
long
to
we're
go-
still talking about it in 26.
I had to go back and look. Like Endor to season 2
Andor,
was
yep.
last year, which I felt was very different than Andor season 1.
I liked the second season better than the first one, but it
Lots
was
of
a
pieces
little
of it.
dry, a little plodding for me. And I'm like, all right, let's move this on.
Right. I did really like Wednesday. I thought that show continued to be very well done.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So Wednesday had been really high on my list. King of the Hill was on my list. Probably a nostalgia factor more than much else.
And I was talking to someone else. I'm like, I need to watch it again
Mm-hmm.
and really let it sink in because I came in with preconceived notions, obviously having seen the original series so many times. And then some of the forced upon them because, tragic deaths and people that we lost along the way. And then some of the artistic choices they took to get around or not to get around those.
We're interested.
Again, need to digest it again and see how I really feel on that one. Like, I was happy it was back and excited for it and enjoyed it, but having some time to think about it, I'm like, did I love it? I don't know.
So I'm going to flip to like a disappointment maybe. I had really been excited about Alien Earth.
Mm-hmm. You talked about it so much and all your plans on how to do it and
Excited.
what you were going to do.
I don't like horror movies. And I have
It's a
not
thriller.
watched
Come
some
on.
of them because they have the jump scare part that I don't care
Right.
for. But it then, like in prepping to do what I wanted to do, I wanted to watch all of them in chronological order, like the whole Alien series in chronological order. And in prepping to do that, the reviews of Alien Earth started coming out. And the concession to spend that amount of time and to take our time to sit and watch it, like, just fizzled. So I never watched it.
So you're disappointed by something you didn't watch.
I'm disappointed by something I didn't even watch.
Huzzah.
There you go.
The life you lead.
Right?
So did you have a favorite? Was there one like, oh, I want to go watch this again, or I really enjoyed it, or
Probably Wednesday.
I really enjoyed Wednesday. Again, was really well done for what it was, and I think it's nice to see Netflix continue to have success in those kind of limited series. I mean, they're Netflix series. They're not even
Right.
a traditional 26
Like
episode one.
I'm going to go with 3. I have 3 network shows I watch
Mm-hmm.
that I'm really looking forward to the new season coming out, and I've really enjoyed watching them. Have really enjoyed watching them. So one of the things we discovered this year is that I apparently like quirky shows.
What?
And I didn't realize that was a go-to category, that I liked quirky shows.
Mm-hmm.
So like the boy and I watched The Rookie. We're really looking forward to it coming back. And we watch reruns of that a lot. Really like High Potential. I'm excited that got picked back up again and will be coming back out. And I actually really enjoyed Murder in a Small Town. I'm a murder mystery kind of fan, and Murder in a Small Town is a quirky little show that I think I got into season 2 before I realized stars Donald Sutherland child as an adult. But I did not put together that's who that actor was.
It's not
for
24
a while.
in a small town, is it?
It's not 24 in a small town. But it's really pretty good. I like it. So those also rise to my list. They're just not
mainstream, geekified.
Right. Or they're way mainstream, maybe.
Too mainstream, too quirky.
Right. So,
all right.
Anyway, I enjoyed
Fair
this.
enough.
So those would be my highlights.
So, staying on the media train for a little while, what was your favorite movie you saw in 2025?
Believe it or not, this one's a harder category to come to.
It was because, in my humble, not so humble opinion, there were not a lot of movies that I'm like, oh man, let's go to the theater and watch this.
There were very few movies that you felt that way. There were lots of movies the boy and I are like, we want to go see this. And you're like, knock yourselves out. So if I had to pick. All right, I'm going to pick one, and then I'm going to pick one I think we as a family enjoyed most.
Oh.
Does that work? Okay. I really...
You make whatever rules you like. It's your show,
I keep
too.
changing them as we go along here. So I really enjoyed K-pop Demon Hunters. I talk about K-pop Demon Hunters a lot. I think I've only watched it once, but I talk about it a lot. And I really, really enjoyed... not just the fun and the music and the sing-along, but the underlying story that it had with it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I did really enjoy that. And I enjoy that it opens that conversation and those stories to a very wide audience. As a family, I think we really enjoyed Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World Rebirth?
Whatever, yes.
Yes, there we go.
The Jurassics is...
with the big giant foot popcorn bucket.
Right. That was just a really fun movie. That
was a theater popcorn movie. That was my
popcorn. I like that.
The one I enjoyed the most, as much as it was fun to go back and see Revenge of the Sith in IMAX.
Yeah.
Was one of my others I really enjoyed. But I mean, Jurassic Park was one of the few I saw in the cinema this year, because there's weren't a lot that I'm like, oh, I want to plunk down that kind of money and that kind of time that I can't, go and stream.
It was an odd year too. There were some kickoffs to what are supposed to be the next up and coming realms of whatever is happening.
The new DCU,
the new Marvel, the
sale of Warner Brothers.
Right. There's all of that stuff coming on.
V8 now, or
Something.
8th iteration or some craziness like that.
That didn't necessarily... that bell didn't ring real hard for me. I do think in talking about finales, though, I feel like the Mission Impossible also tied all its ends in a really, really nice bow. Mm-hmm. It did such a good job kind of going back and picking up on the pieces over all of the films that they've done and giving you a really good finale feel to all of that. So I appreciated that.
And it was well done, and they spent a fortune making it. And I don't know, they made their money back on that one, which is kind of a shame. As much as they spent to make it, and having made some of it during COVID and all those. I
think it's one of those that at some point is just a passion project for Tom Cruise, and he'll spend whatever money it takes to get it done. So,
right. I mean,
you're right.
He's getting his payday too, though.
A lot of times those passion projects don't come out to be a wide release sentiment. Like, they're not a popular
if you wouldn't have
choice at
spent
the end always.
the amount of money they spent to make it, and you said, oh, we made, X hundred million at the box office.
You'd have been a huge success.
They're popping champagne corks and excited, and it's like, yeah, but we spent more than that to make it and market it, and it didn't, do as well overseas as some of the action movies do or don't do. So, I mean, yeah, and it was, again, really well done. Put it to bed. Not really. I mean, the bloom's been off the rose for me since the original Mission Impossible, because I watched the show as a kid.
Right.
And the way they did the first movie and some of the choices they made artistically, I'm like, and I've not really enjoyed any of them.
No.
The second one was okay. The one with Philip Seymour Hoffman was probably my favorite one.
Okay.
And I loved it so much I remember the exact title of it.
I couldn't tell you the title to any of them, to be honest.
Right. The first one was Mission Impossible.
Right. And they've all had subtitles since then. But we talked about Jurassic World. Also had a lot of those callbacks and a lot of Easter eggs, which made it fun.
Right. So. And like, are they going to make another one? Of course, because it made money, and people want to go see dumb, fun action movies and eat popcorn and sit in the dark for 2 hours. And as long as it has some degree of plausibility and not too much, other junk associated with it, they want to go enjoy that fun, maybe not fully turn your brain off kind of movie, but just enjoy the exposition and the verisimilitude for what it is without taking it too seriously, and really enjoying that. And that's a summer popcorn movie, and your traditional, blockbuster tentpole kind of go see that in June or July movie.
I mean, I'm making the face because I'm going back. How popular is King Kong and Godzilla and The Land Before Time, and like all of these things, Land of the Lost, that's Land of the Lost, like all these things where essentially the dinosaur eats people are always going to be popular. Right. So yes, I think they'll probably make another one.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Huzzah.
How about places you went? What was your favorite con this year?
Always have fun at Origins. Although I spend all of Origins, behind the screen running games, hanging out with my friends in my club. So that, but it's always fun, and I enjoy doing that. So it's a labor of love. It's not really work. We had a little schedule change and only dipped into River City Con a little bit. I flew solo at Lexicon, but I mean it's cliche to say it, but I enjoyed Gen Con because we were all together. It's such a just crazy thing. We see so many friends and hang out with other people and have fellowship, and it's not certainly for us as much. The little guy gets to play some games. It's not as much for playing games, but seeing what's out there, seeing our friends, being with our tribe, so to speak, and just really soaking that in for 4 or 5, whatever, best days of gaming they happen to call it.
I agree. That's the only con I made it to this year. I do usually enjoy. I went to a day of River City Con.
Yeah, we did a drive by there. It was practically
a drive by. I spent half the time going, "Are we meeting our friends yet?"
Right.
We had dinner with friends. So, I enjoy small cons. Yes, Gen Con's a whole different experience. I do enjoy all of the oomph that goes around Gen Con, so that's a lot of fun. We just looked at calendars for next year. I'm a little curious. It has been a number of years that we've had the ability to go for 4 days. Mm-hmm. When the little guy was really little, we went for 1.
We did the family day, or we'd go up one day and do the con the next day.
Right. We'd go up one night, spend time with some friends, go to the con the next. That's what I have a feeling next year is going to look like. We got a lot of things that are like back to 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 back.
Yes, we have. We're only going to get 2 days next year, and the little guy and I are going to be a little hungover from our previous 2 weeks of camp experience. So that should be different. Should be interesting to see how we zombie.
Should be interesting.
We need to get our gaming zombie shirts out to just wander around
through Sunday.
Oh, by Sunday we'll have slept. We'll have had some Aries. It'll be all good.
Everybody looks like that on Sunday, though. So maybe it won't be noticeable.
We're starting that Saturday morning. Yeah, Gen Con was great this year. Had a good time, and that was because of the fellowship we get to have with friends, strangers, people that are friends that we just don't know yet. And I think that's a lot about what we're about, and what we talk about here in our fellowship, and getting together with friends and sharing games and geeky pursuits and all those things like that.
It's been really neat to watch Gen Con grow as big as it has for as long as we've been involved and go to it. That's a lot of people who it's their first year, and that's a lot of people. This is
like it's like their one chance. Right. They burned all their vacation or saved all their money and went and did it big or whatever.
Or it's new people to the hobby. Right. That are coming to experience that. So it's really neat to be on this side and be able to, like, we've already had some folks who've asked questions. We're like, well, let me give you what's worked for us in the past. Here's things that we've seen work, or things that we've really seen not work.
Right.
And to be at a place to be able to do that back to somebody, to have gone enough times and have the privilege to stay enough times, and really make that our family vacation to go and do that has really been, a lot of fun.
It's been great,
a blessing to us,
it's we're into our 3rd generation now of gamers playing tabletop role-playing games, thinking about the history of it. So, I mean, I certainly was inducted early on in that first generation. While I only have a second generation directly, you're starting to see that next generation of those people that are, again, coming back of age where they have the time and the disposable income to come.
Right.
And now they're sharing that with their kids that their parents maybe shared with them or maybe didn't. And so it's a brave new world for them. So it's fun seeing all those different experiences as the hobby continues to grow.
Yeah, I agree.
And you see it writ large at Gen Con.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to Gen Con, you should check out our videos. You should definitely go. Passes aren't even on sale yet. So I think the room block opens soon, but but you're right. We've got a whole guide too,
that kind of gives a retrospective.
And I'm sure we'll be updating that with always lessons learned and that little bit of always trying to improve there. All right, so that was our favorite con. Back to tabletop RPGs. What was your favorite RPG of the year? Was there one that sticks out for you or that you liked? Because you're not quite as neck deep as I am in that, but you enjoy playing tabletop games.
I do enjoy playing tabletop games. I think we've talked before. I don't tend to play a lot here at home because we talk through a lot of the scenarios in the games, and if you're GMing, I already know the plot to sit and play. And I really respect guys' night. I want to give you guys that time to not have wives and things.
It's been nice. We this year we've expanded to some other folks and shared with them. We've got some new ones in our group that are playing as well. So
that's been fun. I've really and I have enjoyed that. And so I think one of the systems I've really enjoyed playing was Everyday Heroes. And it's easy to walk into and to jump into because you just kind of play people or people who have the knowledge you would know and you would have. I know that having my own knowledge pushed in a little hard in our last game. I'm like, that's not where that's located.
Little meta there, maybe just a little.
But yeah, Everyday Heroes has been a lot of fun to play.
I've really enjoyed running that and looking forward to running some of the conventions coming up this year.
Good.
So looking forward to that. My favorite new one, Everyday Heroes, picked up 3 years ago. I think I initially bought into that and finally gotten around. I ran it last year for the first time at Origins and run it some at home and getting ready to run it a couple conventions this year. The new one I discovered, and I was a year late to the party, was Shadow Dark. Finally took the plunge because as satisfied as I was with my fantasy gaming in 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game, I'm always, just because of the way I'm wired, I'm always looking for something new and different and that new shiny object. No, I don't have ADHD. Get off my back. Always looking for that new shiny, but I'm like, oh, do I really want to go try something new? Because I've been burnt before on new plenty of times. And some folks in our gaming club tried to sell me on it. And I said, no, I trust y'all, but I don't know if I trust y'all that much because, again, been burnt there a couple times because their style and my style don't always match up. And so I went and they had a booth at Origins. And some friends of mine were helping work at that booth and also selling their own stuff. And I was like, okay, you're on this. And he does a lot of OSR publishing of his own content. And I'm like, sell me on Shadow Dark. And I flipped through the book, and another buddy of mine from my gaming club and I were there, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. And I devoured the book.
You really did.
Read through it a couple times, and now like all things Shadow Dark, because there's a sci-fi version I did the Kickstarter for. There's a
man, you love sci-fi.
There's a modern version that has a kind of X-Files horror bent to it.
Okay.
That just came through on Kickstarter. So I'm sucked into all things Shadow Dark. There's a kind of a dungeon crawler Carl world for using the Shadow Dark rules. And Professor GM with Dungeon Craft has his own flavor with Deathbringer using the Shadow Dark engine that's coming out this year. So I'm just like totally sucked into all things Shadow Dark, and looking forward to running that at Origins this year.
Oh, good.
And just like looking at the numbers, I know there was something like, hey, here's the games that were run and over last year and this year, and it was like those were really popular, and I think Shadow Dark's going to be even more popular as far as
Wow.
Origins and Gen Con goes this year. It's such a great. It does it disservice to call it a light rules. It's not as there's not as many layers and as much extra stuff as the world's most popular role playing game. So it definitely has those old school AD&D feels, but like with the modern rule set, and it's very tightly constructed. And the thing I love, and most RPG publishers are like, if you don't like a rule, change it, do your thing. And there's some that are like, these are the rules,
Right.
and this is the way. And if you don't like it, suck it, go play something else. And very open to that. And it's like, here's some different modes of play for those that may not be as initiated. It's like, oh, you can play it really lethal, you can play it really light, you can play it almost beer and pretzels. There's a lot of options within that. But I'm really excited to run and play that more.
I appreciate that a lot. As you know, I tend to like kind of friendlier party card game kind of games.
Right.
But the scalability of those to who you're playing with and how crunchy then it is or isn't,
Right.
beer and pretzel kind of style. So I appreciate a role-playing game that also lends itself to, it depends on who you've got at the table.
Right.
So to pimp you just a little bit, you said you're going to Origins this year. How many things are you running at Origins this year, Jim?
All by myself, I'm only running 9 events.
How many things are you running total this year, Jim?
If you count running events, the same event twice or the same game twice or co-GMing with someone else, I'm back to 11.
So I think what I'm saying is there's plenty of opportunity to play with Jim at Origins this year.
Come see Amorphous Blob. I'm in the Amorphous Blob room. That's my club. So come check us out. We always have great events. All our GMs are awesome, not just me. There's one, he's just okay. I'm not sure how many he's running this year, but
How many different systems are you running?
I
top of
would
your head,
have.
you know?
Well, I'm running.
Is it
I'm
5?
going to do the D&D Trivial Pursuit game,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm running Shadow Dark, Everyday Heroes, Rifts, Dead Rain. I feel like something else.
I feel like there was something else too.
Yeah, 'cause I said Shadow Dark. I mean, that's a pretty good start.
Are you doing G.I. Joe?
No, I'm not doing G.I. Joe. I ran G.I. Joe last year, and as much as I
Two types.
love G.I. Joe, because we ran Axis and Allies. As much as I love it, Essence 20 is just too cumbersome. Next time I run G.I. Joe, Savage Worlds, and Freedom Squad is going to be my engine.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I just did not love Essence 20. The books are beautiful. The art's beautiful. They have some neat ideas. Then I just did not care for the system. Just did not care for it.
You know, it'd be really fun.
Muddled through. What would be really fun?
Because I really like Hollow Earth. So you have a G.I. Joe that takes place in Hollow Earth because that feels very Cobra Commander.
Ah, you got to go find the Cobra. La 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 la. No,
Right?
well, not gonna happen.
Okay.
Maybe in the Hollow Earth, but not finding Cobra Law.
Well, no. But going to Hollow Earth
Yes.
sounds, yeah.
Oh, I got an Everyday Heroes adventure for you. That's
Ooh.
coming up. That has a Hollow Earth bent to it.
Okay. All right.
So I do enjoy Hex, but again, a different system. And when I ran that, and several of the folks from the company played in my one game I ran at Origins, I don't pay attention to who sits down at my table. Like, I pay attention to them, but I don't look at their badges or be like, "Oh, you're so and so." Or it
You're
says
a 25-year attendee.
you're an exhibitor.
Oh,
You're like
right.
I don't pay a lot of attention to that. And we were on the break, and two of the guys were sitting there, and they'd gotten their drink or run to the restroom or whatever, and came back, and we were chit-chatting a little as we're waiting for everybody to come back. And he said something about the initiative system. And it's one of these where it kind of adds up, and you go on your multiples of what you get 6, you go on 6, 12. It's very similar in that way. And I thought, okay, I'm like, I thought I did okay, because that's not how my brain's wired for initiative. And we were just chit-chatting. He was very friendly. He was very kind and gracious. And he said the phrase, "You have a very interesting take on the initiative system." And again, he was very gracious. My table, here's what the book says, and here's what we're all doing here. And it's a con game, and sometimes you just flow with things. And I thought, oh, well, that's a interesting thing to say. And I glanced down, and his exhibitor badge, is the company that makes a Hollow Earth Expedition, and he was, VP of something or other. And I'm like, oh. And I look at his buddy, and he was another bigwig, and I'm like, oh. Hell, furiously flipping through the book going, oh my God, what did I do wrong?
What does it say on how to do initiative?
I was definitely on edge the second half. I mean, it wasn't bad. It went good, and I got in flow, and it was fine. But I was like, oh, how did I do this wrong? And again, they were very gracious. They thanked me for running their game, and I'm like, oh, fudge. I hope I didn't do it that bad. And I mean, so yes, that was I was like, okay, cool.
Cthulhu is the other one. There is 6. That's
Cat
what we're
Thulu, yes.
missing.
Yes. How can I forget my cats of Cat Thulu?
That's a good question.
That's one of my cats of Cat Thulu, kindly staying off camera and just snoozing on the
today.
table.
It's been wonderful.
Our whimsical cat has not made a visit to our stream just yet.
It might mean that we may be near the end of the stream then.
We may be. Okay, let's go to the big board there, Johnny. What have we missed? All right, so we talked about our favorite board games, best RPG, our movie, our show, convention, our tech item and accessory, and last but not least, and you may have mentioned as we were talking about favorite RPG, was favorite game you played this year. Board, card, RPG, LARP, you name it. Video game, anything. What was your favorite gaming experience?
So my favorite gaming experience this year was playing Play, Rewind, Eject
from our friends at Bloat Games.
From our friends at Bloat Games, who we spent a lot of time talking with, actually, in the one day we went to River City Con, talking to them about their game.
Hung out with Eric and Jamie. Yep.
Right. So it was really fun to be playing it again, kind of in the Christmas season, actually.
Look, it's right behind you.
It is right behind me. With a bunch of teens and late teens.
Yeah, at a scouting holiday party.
Had a huge, I think we had 10 people
we
playing
did. It was
the game.
A really big game.
Really big table.
And we had just started playing, a couple of us.
It was so easy to just, somebody walked by and go, do you want to sit down and play with us? Do you want to sit down and play with us?
And they came and said, what are you doing? We want to play. How do you play?
How do you play?
Here, you're dealt in. This is what we're doing.
To get like halfway through the game and realize on somebody's turn, it's like, well, here's the 3 movies that I picked. I've never seen any of these.
Like, oh, got to work on your filmographies, kiddos.
Sorry, how are you playing this game? And then to have another kid who like had seen everything and would argue whether that was good or bad on what had been chosen. And it just took, because a lot of those kids, I think, were introverts, and it just opened the discussion and got them interactive and playing. And we watched a couple of them then play it again at another event that they happened to be at together. So it was really one of those games that just opened itself to interaction really quickly. It opened itself to as much discussion or as little discussion as you wanted. It gave you ideas to tell. Like, I think I sent 3 of the kids home. I was like, this is your homework. You got to go watch this movie.
Right. You have to go watch this particular. Like,
right. Everyone had a different movie assigned to
right.
them to go watch that felt like it was within the requirements of things they would be allowed to watch.
Right.
But yeah, it was super fun to watch them, and so easy to teach the rules and catch on and get playing without spending an hour saying, okay, this is like, I love to play Clank. We could have sat down and played Clank fairly easily, but there is a learning curve to that. Right. There is an explanation. Once you started, you would not have been able to join in a lot of other people. It would have become exclusionary at some point. And so this was really nice to just, everybody in the pool, let's go. And play that game. So I really appreciate that.
And they came and wanted to join. We weren't, it was like, we're going to sit down and entertain ourselves.
Right.
And they're like, oh, what are you doing? What's this game? Can we play? Sure. Come on, let's go. Mm-hmm. So that was really good. So mine was a game I've wanted to play for the longest time and had not pulled the trigger on because I'm like, I might not enjoy it. I don't know if I want to, plunk down $50 or $60 for, the hardback rule set. Was X-Crawl by Goodman Games. And I played that at Lexicon, and we had an absolute hoot.
Oh, yay.
And again, for those of you that are unfamiliar on Initiate or have read Dungeon Crawler Carl, it's essentially that as a fantasy RPG. Dungeon Crawler Carl is a little more, modern sci-fi. They use magic to televise these live contests. Cool. And so it's got a little bit of that Running Man feel, a little Survivor feel that's telecast, and you're, competing with or against your teammates and whatever things that are being thrown at you in the world for the entertainment of the masses. And one of the things you can do is mug for the crowd and determines that. So I didn't enjoy that part at all. Right.
I was going to say, which is a part that you often reward your players for anyhow in a game. So
and so yeah, I was like, wait a minute, you get extra experience or can get like, you can get a bonus for like mugging for the crowd after you do this fabulous thing and play your contest. I'm like, well, let me see if I can do something there. And so yeah, I really enjoyed XCOM and immediately went over and bought the book and was like, okay,
awesome.
I'm in. So it's sitting behind me, but I think it's way
I
behind me. You
can't
can't see it. Sorry. So, but yeah, that was my favorite one I played because I don't get to play a lot, particularly RPGs. So usually when I go to the smaller cons, I'll take part in that. So played that and like I said, thoroughly enjoyed XCrawl and looking forward to running that. I'm like, oh, I have like some things I could 3D print and run this scenario or that scenario. I'm like, oh, this one's done in a big arena, and so definitely got the
great.
creative.
It's more things to paint.
That's right. Get your paint markers out, sister. We got things to paint. So overall, 2025 was a great gaming, geeky, techie year. We started doing this on a regular basis as well, sharing our fellowship with our wonderful viewers. Noises upstairs, people are banging around. Oh my goodness! It's the gods knocking and saying, "Wrap it up."
We'll have to come back and we'll maybe do a what are we looking forward to in 2026?
Because there's definitely some shows, some movies, some games that are supposedly coming out and things we're looking forward to. And as more things get announced leading up to some of the trade shows and the big conventions of the summer, I think more of those things will firm up date wise. And there's some Kickstarters out there in. I know Kickstarter's out there in fulfillment purgatory.
We may have to do a whole explain a Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like this is a crowd that probably knows Kickstarter pretty well. I was just out with some wives, and only one is a Kickstarter widow as well, and so we were trying to give an explanation.
I kickstart things to share with you. You're like, oh, what package or book did you get today? Oh, well, and you're like,
how long ago did you kickstart this?
This was years ago. It's been in Kickstarter or crowdfunding purgatory for a while.
So yes,
because there's Backer Kit and there's Game Found out there as well. Not to give all the love to Kickstarter, but it's like saying Kleenex or a Coke or something. So. They're still the biggest by far. So yes, we branched out.
We'll do a 2026 preview.
Definitely
stay
definitely
tuned.
do that.
Look forward to that.
Stay tuned. Like I said, if you want to know more about Gen Con, check out our Gen Con streams. You want to know about Keychron, there'll be a new Keychron video coming soon, but there's a couple out there already, so you can check those out, and you can go down the Keychron rabbit hole with me. Most importantly, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for a fun 2025. Comment, like, subscribe, join in the fellowship, talk to us, tell us, we're wrong, we're right, we're wonderful, whatever we'll take all sorts of feedback. It doesn't have to just be positive.
What was your favorite part of 2025? Let me know below. Yeah,
tell us, share with us how your 25 was. There was a great game or something we missed, or like, oh, how could you not talk about or play this game or watch this movie? We'll tell you the movie. I'm like, we're way strong opinions there. No problem about that one.
Yeah, tell me why I should have watched Alien Earth.
Yeah, sell me on that, because plenty of people sold me off of that. All right. Thank you all for joining us. For Fellowship of Geeks, I'm Jim.
I'm Diane.
We'll talk to you soon.